What is the first task of adult life? Is it finding a job, saving money, or paying off your debts? For the hero Hercules, one of his 10 tasks of labor was to clean the Augean Stables, a complex so vast that it would take teams of men weeks to do so. Hercules was given just one day. The stables hadn't been cleaned for 30 years, and the task was meant to humiliate and degrade him. But instead of breaking him, instead of crushing his spirit, Hercules managed to pull it off. Many young people today face the same task, not clearing acres upon acres of waste and feces, but the task of pushing through work that is beneath their potential, work that would suck the life out of you, work that would trap you in a diminished life. Graduate college, find a job, and realize that 40 hours a week isn't quite all there is. There's also time getting ready, commuting, overtime, and time spent networking or training extra skills. Hard work might be rewarded with extra responsibilities and no extra pay. But you have to push through it, because it's your first job. You have no savings, no experience, and you likely have debts to pay off as well. There's very little actual choice and very little freedom in this situation. This is the first task of life. But if you manage to push through, save up a financial base, get more confidence and experience, then things will start to open up for you. You suddenly find you have the power to make a job change, take some small risks, and lay a slightly larger claim on your own life. You would have passed the first Herculean task. You managed not to be crushed by the mundane, the long hours, the boring office jobs, the grueling menial labor of the world. This is the first task of life for most adults, those without trust funds, family connections, or incredible luck. How can you tell when you've escaped the Augean Stables? There are two parts, the financial part and the mental part. For me, saving my first 10,000 USD was the beginning. That was when I first felt a bit of breathing room and a bit of control of my own finances. An emergency would no longer destroy me, and I wasn't living paycheck to paycheck. The next major stage was probably around 60K to 100K of savings and investments. At that point, I could weather a pretty brutal and long storm and come out okay. You could also more confidently use your savings to retrain and make a career change. But beyond the finances, there is also something psychological that must happen. Some people create the financial cushion, but never mature past the mindset of surviving. They never take the next step. To do so, you must truly internalize that you have the savings. You've proved that you're financially viable, and you've gotten some experience with life. You must realize and truly internalize that you are an adult. You are capable, and there's no virtue in acting like you're smaller than you are. You must give yourself the authority and permission to step into a larger life. Now, I'm not saying do something crazy, and I'm not saying spend more money for the sake of it, but you have a much, much wider range of reasonable risk that you can now take on. And again, some people never mentally reach this stage. They always treat life as something to be managed, to be controlled and mitigated, and act as if disaster is constantly looming. But if you have successfully overcome the first task of life, then you need to really ask yourself if you're living according to your own values. Ask yourself what is meaningful to you, and start making the choices to reclaim your own life, whatever those choices might be.